Good day, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. In this particular webinar, I'm going to talk about how do you maximize the profitability of your company. And I'm going to do that by specifically talking about the 5 profit levers in any company. And I'm also, well, let's just move on to the next slide because it'll explain it. I'm going to cover those 5 profit levers. I'm going to cover some killer strategies in each one of those profit levers. I'm going to talk about break even, why it's so important that you understand what it is in your business, and budgeting, reporting, as well as setting up goals for making more profit. I talk to so many business owners and they go, you know, I want to get to $1 million, or I want to get to 2 million, I want to get to 5 million, I want to get to 10 million. Not once do they say, I want to make $500,000 in profit. I want to pay myself $500,000. They say, I want to make more revenue. Listen, top line is vanity, bottom line is sanity. So I'm going to be talking mostly in regards to bottom line, because that's what's going to put money in your pocket and you know, sort of relieve the stress or the idea that you need to make more money. So let's keep moving along here. I want to tell you a little bit about myself before we get started. I was a terrible student growing up. I mean, I was good in elementary school and middle school, and then in junior high, you know, it just, I realized that the model that they used for teaching at that time was not right for me for learning. I learn in a different way. I'm more of a learner, learning by doing rather than learning by listening. If someone's standing up at the front of a room just telling me something, it might as well be Greek. I can listen to it, but I need to apply it right away. If I don't apply it right away, then I don't learn it. But in my mid-20s, I picked up a book called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. It's the first book that I ever read that I would consider like a personal development book. And he was a plastic surgeon who did a lot of plastic surgery on people, and he you know, tried to understand why some people who had perfect faces you know, couldn't see the beauty in their faces, and other people who you know, had a lot of reconstructive surgery done to their face, because just he was a plastic surgeon during the Second World War, and people would be, oh my God, I'm so happy, even though their face still looked, you know, nothing like a normal face would look like. And so the premise of the book is that the mind can't tell the difference between something that's vividly imagined and something that's actually happened. And you've probably heard of studies like this before, you know, where a basketball team, one group will physically shoot hoops, and the other will just visualize shooting them in their mind's eye, and they have they've improved equally in their ability to shoot baskets. So this was my first sort of understanding that, you know, there was a kind of a world out there that I didn't really understand and that was interesting to me. And then I took a personal development course called The Pursuit of Excellence, and then The Wall and the Advancement in Excellence, and it just like blew everything up. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe there's all this other part to the way that the world works and life functions, and you know, how we can maximize our own impact in our own lives, and then of course the impact that we have on other people's lives, because that's where I first got this idea and the bug of if you want to have everything you want to have in life, help other people get what they want out of life. I first heard that from Zig Ziglar, and there's nothing more, there's not a truer statement made than that. When you help people get what they want, they're happy to pay you for it, for lack of a better term. So anyways, then I really got the bug for learning, and I started reading more. I read a book by Jim Rohn, and he said, one of his many, many quotes was, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And I tell this to my business owners as well, work harder on yourself than you do on your business, because as you become better in every aspect, not just of your business, but your life. And then take that and lead your people to the same conclusion, that the better that they become at life, the better they become at not only for your business, but in every area that bleeds into every area of their life. And so I started taking more and more courses. I joined Toastmasters. And like I said, I took courses in sales because at the time I was in sales and marketing, management, leadership, communications, systems development, time management. And of course, I continued my journey on personal development, and I will continue to do that until the day I hope I read a book on the last day of that I take my last breath, because it's so fulfilling for me. And it just helps me just fit into where I want to fit in the world. Now, I've got over 40 years experience in business and business management, and sales and marketing. And I've taken somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 30 different conferences that I've been to, where, you know, we've got to listen to the best of the best in terms of speakers and understanding business at the highest level. I've learned all about communication and understanding communication intelligence, understanding how, you know, why communications go off and what we can do about it. And really just, how does a business function? How is it organized? Why do we have organizational charts? Why do we have job descriptions? Why do we have workflows? All this stuff makes your business run smoother, with less headaches, with less of your personal time, and helps you make a lot more money. And so for almost 2 decades now, I've been coaching business owners just like yourself, and I literally help business owners make more money, work less, have more fun, and build great teams of people around them. And what could be more fulfilling for me, but what could be more fulfilling than for you as a business owner to develop your people so that they make more money, they have more fun, and they enjoy life and fulfill their own dreams, hopes and dreams inside your business. I can tell you that'll be the most rewarding thing that you do in your business. So let's keep rolling along here. So I talked about the 5 levers to increase profit in your business. So what are they? Well, the 5 levers are everything that's in red here. What's in white is a result of one of the 5 levers, pulling one of the 5 levers. So how many leads are you getting? What's your conversion rate? What's the number of transactions? What's your average dollar sale? And what's your profit margin? So I want you to think about this and type it into the chat box. Which is most important to you? Do you need to understand, you know, what products and services you're profitable on and what products and services you might not be profitable on? Do you need to work on your conversion rate? We're getting lots of leads, but we're not getting a lot of customers. Average dollar sale. How do we maximize every sale that comes through our business? Or number of transactions. How do we get more transactions going on here? You know, we've got a good amount of customers. We've got a decent conversion rate. Our average dollar sale is good, but we just aren't getting enough transactions. Excuse me while I have a bubbly, drink of my bubbly. The number of leads that you generate. So let's take a look at this in order of importance. The first and most important part is your margins. Think of it this way. If you want to fill your sink up, you turn the water taps on full blast, but you leave the plug out. Is the sink going to ever fill up? No, it's not. It's the same with your business. If your model is not profitable, if you're not making money off your products and services, it's not profit. There's no profit in there. It doesn't matter how many more customers, how great your conversion rate, how big your average dollar sale is, or your number of transactions. It's just going to drive you to broke faster. So number one thing we do is make sure that what you're selling is profitable. The next thing we do is work on conversion rate. Why is that so important? Because we don't want to blow good leads. We don't want customers coming into our business and not buying stuff from us. If somebody stepped into your store, they're looking for something. It's your job to help them find it. So we want to make sure that we want to increase your conversion rate. For those of you who aren't completely sure what that means is, so let's say you got 10 people walk into your store, or 10 people phoned your store, or you went out and made 10 sales calls, and in each situation, 2 people bought something, that you have a 20% conversion rate. So we want to improve that. The next thing we want to look at is the average dollar sale. So think of McDonald's. I'd like a Big Mac. Do you want a meal or just a Big Mac? Yeah, I'll have a meal. Do you want that supersized? Actually, I don't even think they say that anymore. I think that it's a sensitive area for people who eat too many calories, but that's what they used to do. You want that supersize, so you get a big thing of fries and a giant Coke, as well as your Big Mac. That's increasing your average dollar sale. The other is the number of transactions. So that's how often people come back and buy, or how many transactions you have. Just to give you an idea, these are all over the map. I worked with a guy who owned a gas station, convenience store, and a car wash, and they had 13,000 plus transactions every single month. So we focused in on his average dollar sale, improved it by $2.57. You can do the math and see the impact that that has had on his business. And then last is leads. Why is leads last? Because that's the one that costs you money. I mean, there's lots of ways that you can market your business without spending a lot of money, but it almost always includes some kind of spending some money. Okay, so let's take a look at this in terms of some numbers, some actual numbers. So this is a random business that in a year had 4,000 leads, had a 25% conversion rate, 1,000 customers, number of transactions was 2, and they spent $100 each time they were there. So their revenue for the year was $200,000. They had a 25% margin, so they made $50,000 in profits. So we want to do this and look at this very conservatively, and think of it this way: like this is a model fits every business, but it's different for every business. Obviously, my gas station, car wash, convenience store guy is different than a real estate agent, or different than a construction company, remodeling company, a wholesale distributor. They're all a little bit different, but each one of these, you can. What are the areas? Like I said, with the guy with the car wash, we focused on average dollar sale. That was one of the areas that we focused in on. If you're a real estate agent, you might focus in on conversion rate. If you're getting lots of leads, but you're not getting a lot of sales, conversion rate. Car sales, conversion rate. If you're getting lots of leads. If you got a lot of leads, but you're not getting a lot of customers, we're going to focus on conversion rate. If you're getting very few leads, it doesn't really matter what your conversion rate is at that particular point. You need to develop more leads. So we look at this and we go, let's get a 10% increase in each one of those areas. So instead of 4,000, we got 4,400. Instead of a 25% conversion rate, we're now 27.5%. So it's 25 times 10%. So now we got 1,210 is 1,000. So we get 210 more customers. We worked hard on developing some strategies to get them to come back a little bit more often. So now instead of just twice, they come back 2.2. Remember, everything's on averages. And then we also put some point of sale material, or we asked, people who bought this also bought that. Some people bought. So instead of $100, now the average is $110. So take a look at what this effect has on our revenues. $92,820 more, just by a little bit of focus in on each one of those 4 areas. And then we got smart about how we buy things. We joined a buyer's group, or we negotiated with our suppliers, or we made commitments to our suppliers for a better rate. And now instead of 25%, we have a 27.5% margin. So we've now made $80,525.50. That's $50,000, over $55,000 more. Or pardon me. Sorry. That's $35,000. Had a bit of a brain fart there for a second. You'll have to forgive me for that. Anyways, that's a 46% increase in your revenue and a massive 61% increase in your profits. This is called compounding. When you focus in on improving each of those areas, it compounds itself. So when I talk to business owners, I never, if I say, hey, I can help you get a 5 or 10% increase in your profits, they can sort of wrap their head around that. But if I say I'm going to get you a 61% increase, there's like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. When in actual fact, yes, I do know what I'm talking about. So understanding break even, why it's so important. You can see here, you've got a revenue line, you got fixed costs. The revenue is your blue line, your fixed costs is your red line. Obviously, they're going straight. Everything, those don't fluctuate. They're the same month to month, no matter what happens, whether you sell something or not. The yellow line represents your total expenses. The green line represents your profits. And the purple line represents your variable expenses. So in other words, if you're making, let's say, steel boxes, you have to buy the steel. That's your variable cost. The box is what you sell. So this at this level is your maximum utilization. This is your profit, and this is your break-even point. Once you hit your break-even in your business, you start to make profit. And then you want to maximize that to the best of your ability without adding any more people or adding any more costs or equipment to your business. And that's going to allow you to maximize the profitability of your business. Now, at some point, as your business grows, you're going to have to either add more people or add more infrastructure or add more equipment. But the point of understanding what the break even is, and again, it's different for every kind of business, but if you know that in the middle of the last week of every month is when you actually hit break even. So at that point, you've sold enough to cover all of your overheads and your variable costs. That's where you start to make profit. And so you go, I'm going to set a goal to break even at the beginning of the the fourth week of the month. So instead of just a few days of profits, you make a week of profits. So understanding what your break even is vitally important for you to set goals around and then strategize around how do we improve this? How do we make it? You know, there's all kinds of tools, and we're going to talk about those here in a minute. But everybody should know what their break even point in their business is. So I'm not going to go through every one of these strategies. Just going to talk about the top 2 or 3 in each one. So you can see in the first one, it's margins. So you could join a buyer's group, form a buyer's group, or shop your suppliers. I've worked with clients who had relationships with their suppliers, and they, liked them, and so they never asked them for a better deal. And what happens over time with suppliers is they incrementally increase prices because they want to maximize the profitability in their business. And I don't, discourage them from doing that. In fact, they should do it. But your job is your business. Their job is their business. And so if you go to your supplier and you say, listen, I need your best pricing for the next year. I'll commit to buying for the next year, but I need your best pricing. And just so you know, I'm shopping against a couple of other suppliers. So just get me your best price. And I'm going to, the other suppliers are much like you in terms of quality of service and product. And we're going to talk about that in a later slide. But whoever gives me the best pricing, I'm going to commit to them for an entire year. Now, the conversion rate, it's, what's your massive dominating position for your products or service, or what's your USP? Why should I buy from you and not your customers or not your competition? If you think about it from the perspective of when I talked about shopping the supplier, like people buy value, they don't buy price. So how do you add more value? And then how do you differentiate that with your sales conversations and your marketing so that they can clearly say, okay, I need to buy from you, even though you might be a little bit higher than your competition, I'm getting more value from you. And having a risk reversal, that's, taking the risk away from them and allowing them to make a decision, because most people don't want to make a bad decision. And so if you can put in risk reversal, then you're going to help them make a decision because they're less fearful of making a poor choice. Average dollar sale, first thing you can do is raise your prices. Now, I know some of you, I can't raise my prices, I'll lose my customers. I can show you, and I'm not going to do it here today, but if you sign up at the end of the webinar for a profit acceleration assessment of your company, I will definitely share it with you then, how much you can raise your prices without worrying about losing profit, not losing customers necessarily, but losing profit. And we'll also use checklists. I talked about that. I think I mentioned that with the paint company. Maybe I didn't, but the paint company, you go into the paint store, you say, I need this color, I need a gallon, or I need 2 gallons of paint. I got a brush here. And that's what I want. And they say, okay, we're going to go and mix this paint up. While you're doing that, we want to make sure that your painting project goes as smoothly and as fun as it possibly can. So here's just a list of things that make your painting project more easy at home. While I go mix the paint, just go and read that over. They might look at it and go, oh yeah, I need some drop cloth, I need some painter's tape, I need some edgers, I need a different kind of roller, I need a different, whatever that might be. And so instead of just buying the paint in one brush, they buy several items. That increases your average dollar sale. Number of transactions. Wow your customers. Simple. Wow your customers. Get them talking about you. Do something that they go, when they go home, they're saying, you won't believe what happened when we went to the paint store. You won't believe the service we got when we went to the tire store, or we went to our mechanic, or whatever. When you wow your customers, they start to talk about you to other people and refer your business to other people. Keep in regular contact. Every customer that you have, you should have in a database. And if you're not using technology today, such as a CRM, where you're emailing them something once every quarter, and again, it depends on the kind of business that you're in. Some companies, they know that if they don't get your business right out of the gate, they're not going to get it, so they email you often. If it's something like your mechanic, he should be emailing you at least once a quarter, just reminding you of services that you might need, and just to keep them front of mind. And then number of leads. Again, a massive dominating marketing position. Or your USP. Increase your marketing channels. Instead of marketing your business 1 or 2 ways, market it a half of different ways. Drip campaigns. These are all strategies that you can do to help improve the number of transactions that you have in your business. Now, I want to a cautionary tale here, if I could. So there's a lot of strategies across here. You cannot do everything all at one time. So you might look at, and this is why I asked you earlier to type into the chat box, which is most important to you: margins, conversion rate, average dollar sale, number of transactions, number of leads. Because you might go, this month, this quarter, I'm going to focus in on making sure that the first month, I'm going to focus in on making sure that everything that we sell, we make a decent profit margin on. The next month after that, then I'm going to work on our conversion rate. We get lots of people inquiring, but we don't get enough customers. So what is our conversation that we're having with these people? What's our sales process? So we can improve our conversion rate. And then the next month, you might work on one average dollar sales strategy. You can't do all things all at the same time. And in fact, putting too much stuff on your plate will almost ensure that nothing changes. You need to do one bite at a time. You've heard that before. How you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about budgeting and reporting. You've got to be checking your profit and loss statement every single month. How much was our revenue this month? What was our cost of goods sold this month? What were our expenses, and how do they compare? Cost of goods sold, how do they compare to the month before? Because then you're going to catch material costs that might fluctuate unexpectedly. Expenses, what kind of expenses? Like companies, that's the one thing, this expense gets added and then it's just forgotten about, and it's reoccurring over a period of time, and nobody's actually using whatever it is that is causing that expense. So checking your expenses, checking your profit. Where's your accounts receivable at? You should everybody right out of the gate should change your payables to, your accounts receivable to 15 days from receipt. If it's not immediate, like if obviously you're in a retail situation, people are buying right away. But if you have terms with any of your customers, change it from 30 days to 15 days. And then become a squeaky wheel. One thing, and I've seen this over and over again, like a business owner will have a stack of checks on their desk, but they don't release them until the person phones and says, hey, you know, you're behind in your payment. Oh, let me, I'll talk to my finance guy, or I'll talk to my bookkeeper and get that paid for you. He hangs up the phone, puts a stamp on the envelope, and fires it into the mail. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, so to speak. Your AP, so your accounts payable. Now, here's the thing. Again, if I'm coaching you to extend your accounts payable as much as you possibly can. But I'm coaching you to shrink your accounts receivable as much as you possibly can. This is about you and your business. And then tracking your cash flow from a monthly basis so that you know, you might go, oh, you know what, here we're heading into this next quarter. It's typically our slowest quarter, but yeah, we got lots of money in the bank. Or, well, wait a minute, we don't have much money in the bank. We've got to do something about it. Units unsold, defects, these are all things that you should be reporting in your business. Like if you're manufacturing, how many defective widgets do you make? Because again, you're going to set a goal of 0 defects. Okay, so I'm almost done here. I just want to go over one more thing, a couple more things here. Aggregation of marginal gains. In the beginning, there's basically no difference between making a choice that's 1% better or 1% worse. Pardon me, I need to take a little drink again of my buble. In other words, it won't impact you much today or tomorrow. But as time goes on, those small improvements or declines compound. And you eventually find a huge gap in, you know, from if you made positive decisions or you made poor decisions or declines. And here's one thing I can tell you for sure, for those of you who are listening on this webinar, is that some of you are never going to make the kind of changes that you need to make in order to have the life that you should have from being a business owner. And part of the reason is for that is because you have a dream. I probably should call it a nightmare. I know some of you are saying, or you might be a smart person, but you certainly don't know what my dreams are, but I wouldn't bet against me on this one, because here's the dream. You know what? I've got all these unique challenges that I'm working on right now, you know, and between all the stuff going on in my business, whether that's, you know, the emails that I'm answering, the phones, the team, the customers, all these unique challenges that I'm going through right now, I'm about as busy as I've ever been. In fact, I don't tell anybody this, but sometimes I feel like I'm just a little bit out of control. But you know what? In about 3 months from now, these will be all over and it'll be back to normal. And then I'll get to working on my business and making sure that all the things that I just talked about are implemented. Ladies and gentlemen, that time is not ever going to happen. And for anybody who's been in business for any amount of time, you know it's not going to happen, because those unique, what you think are unique challenges that you're facing today, there'll be another set of unique challenges that you're talking about a month from now, 3 months from now. So, you know, I just say you've got to get started. The best time to get started is not tomorrow, because tomorrow, guess what, never happens. It would have been, you know, yesterday, but the problem is yesterday has already happened. So today is the best time to get started on making these changes. So write your plan out, set your goals, and start to take some action right away. So what are your targets? Well, what is your revenue going to be like in the next 12 months? And then what's your profit going to be like in the next 12 months, whether that's 10,000, 100,000 or a million? Well, that's profit. For some of you who are in the smaller business, you know, you might be talking about I want to improve my profitability by 10K or 100K, or it might be $1 million, or probably revenue. And then it might be profit. I want 10K more profit. That would make me happier. I want 100K more profit. I want $1 million more profit. So for those of you who are committed to, you know, building your business and maximizing its potential and building a dream lifestyle business for you so that you're not working all the time, you're making really good money, and you're having more fun, and you got a great team of people that's really running your business. And you could theoretically go away for a 3-month period of time and your business would grow while you're away. For those of you who are committed to doing that, I'm going to offer you to go through our business breakthrough software. It's a profit acceleration assessment of your business, where we look at 12 areas of any business and talk about them and talk about the improvements or lack of improvements that you could have in each one of those areas. And I can guarantee you, depending on the size of your business, it could be anywhere from 100K in revenue or 100K in profit, or it could be $1 million in revenue, or it could be $1 million in profit. I just did a profit acceleration assessment for a company that did $27 million. And we're talking about over $1 million in net profit improvements. So I will do a profit acceleration, profit acceleration assessment of your business. It takes about 45 minutes. There's no sales pitch. If you at the end go, you know what, I really like this, I need some help with it, then we can talk about something that would work for you from the standpoint of time and budget. And for those of you who don't see the advantage of working, that's fine too. I always say, you know, yes or no or both good answers. I want to think about it. That's a lame answer. That's kicking the can down the road to a time when you'll never deal with it anyway. So for those of you who are committed, you can email me, or you can click on my calendar link here and get, first of all, a 15-minute business. It's really a qualifying thing, so I can understand your business and whether or not you would benefit from going through the full 45-minute profit acceleration assessment. So you can email me at Laurie@lauriemcnaughton.com, as I said, and just type in, yes, I want to take advantage of your offer for a free no sales pitch 45-minute meeting where we'll find the money for you. And or, like I said, you can click on the link and book a meeting, a 15-minute discovery meeting. I want to thank you all for coming out to the webinar. I trust you all found some value in it. Remember, even if you're not going to talk to me ever again, look at your plan, bite it into small pieces and do a little bit at a time. Your business will change dramatically over a 12-month period of time. Thank you all and have a very great special day. Thank you.